So, the IELTS reading section. It feels like this impossible race against the clock, right? But what if I told you the secret isn't about reading faster, but reading smarter? Look, this isn't a test of how smart you are, it's a test of strategy. And in the next few minutes, we're going to lay out a complete game plan to help you absolutely conquer it.
Let's start with your biggest opponent, the clock. You get exactly 60 minutes, not a second more. And in that single hour, you've got to tackle 40 complex questions. I mean, do the math. That's less than 90 seconds for each question. And remember, that includes finding the answer in these really dense passages. This is exactly why trying to read everything from beginning to end is the biggest mistake you can possibly make.
So, how do you beat the clock? Well, you start by understanding exactly what you're up against. You got to know your opponent, right? Knowing the structure of the test is your first step to taking back control. Okay, first things first, and this is super important. The IELTS reading test is not one size fits all. There are two different versions. If you're aiming for university, you're going to face the academic test, which is packed with tough text from journals and magazines. But if you're going for work or migration, you'll be doing the general training test, which has more everyday stuff like ads and handbooks. You absolutely have to know which one you're preparing for. All right, now that we know the lay of the land, let's build your winning game plan. These are the core strategies that are going to help you master that clock and find answers with some serious speed and precision.
Probably the most powerful tool in your arsenal is this thing called the SQ3R method. It'll completely change how you approach the text. First, you survey for just 2 or 3 minutes. You're just skimming titles and headings to get a feel for it. Next, you question. You actually turn those headings into questions in your mind. This gives you a mission. And then you read. But see, you're not just reading anymore, you're actively hunting for the answers to your questions. It's a simple shift, but it turns you from a passive reader into an information detective.
Next up, we have the keyword technique. And let me tell you, this is your most important weapon. For every single question, your first job is to find the most important words. We're talking nouns, names, dates. Then you scan the passage, looking only for those words or words that mean the same thing. This isn't really reading, it's targeting. The answer is almost always hiding right next to those keywords. It's like having a heat-seeking missile for information. Now, having a great strategy is one thing, but you have to execute it perfectly under pressure. And that's where the rules of engagement come in. These are the absolute must-know do's and don'ts that will keep you from making those simple, costly mistakes on test day. Here's your checklist for success. First, you always skim and scan before you even think about reading deeply. Second, treat the instructions like they're gospel. If it says no more than 2 words, that's a hard limit. Third, you have to manage your time like a hawk. 20 minutes per passage, period. When the time's up, you move on. And finally, don't lose easy points. Double-check your spelling and be super careful when you transfer your answers. And now for the traps you have to avoid. The number one biggest mistake? Trying to read every single word. You just don't have the time. And never ever leave an answer blank. There's no penalty for guessing, so a smart guess is way better than nothing. Also, remember, this is not a knowledge test. The answer is always in the text, so don't bring in outside info. And hey, if you see a word you don't know, don't panic. You can usually figure out what you need from the context around it.
All right, time to get tactical. The IELTS loves to throw a bunch of different question types at you. So think of this next part as a quick intelligence briefing. We're going to get you ready for each specific challenge you're about to face.
First up, matching headings. The secret here is to ignore the tiny details at first. Just read the paragraph to understand its main point. You know, the gist of it. Then find the heading that sums up that main point. Don't get lost in the weeds. You're looking for the forest, not the individual trees.
The infamous true, false, not given. This one trips up so many people. So here's the golden rule for not given. An answer is not given only if the information is 100% completely, totally absent from the text. You can't guess, you can't assume, you can't infer. If it's not explicitly there, it's not given. Simple as that.
For summary completion, your first move is to find the part of the text that's being summarized. But here's the real pro tip. Pay super close attention to the grammar. The word you pick has to fit the sentence perfectly, not just in its meaning, but also grammatically. Multiple choice questions can be tricky because the wrong answers are designed to confuse you. So here's how you beat them. Read the question, and then go find the answer in the text yourself before you even glance at options A, B, C, or D. This way, you won't get fooled by those distracting options. Then you just match what you found to the correct choice.
Okay, we have covered a lot. The mindset, the strategies, the specific tactics. Now let's pull everything together into one simple final formula you can take with you on test day.
This is it, your simple, powerful, repeatable formula. Step 1. Survey the passage for 2 to 3 minutes. Step 2. Go straight to the questions and pull out those keywords. Step 3. Scan the passage to find where those keywords are hiding. Step 4. Read carefully just in that area to pinpoint the answer. And Step 5, the golden rule. Stick to 20 minutes per passage, no exceptions. That's your game plan.
So there you have it. That's the blueprint. You've got the plan, you've got the tools, and you've got the rules of engagement. You see, the IELTS reading test isn't some unbeatable monster. It's just a puzzle that has a system. And now you have the system. So the only real question left is the one right there on your screen. You have the strategy. Are you ready to begin?